Namaskar, everyone. How do we... Oh, welcome to day 38. A joy always to announce the day, knowing that we have done so many 38. How do we free ourselves from attachment to the senses, to the world around us? How do we free? How does the soul free itself? Of course, with the ascension of Kundalini, she is in great support. She's leading the way. She's risen. And she's going to move along the spinal column. And she's going to bring you the challenge of becoming detached from the senses. Is it possible to live in this world happily in detachment to the senses? Using the senses, but not caught up in them. Is it possible that we can navigate this bhuloka with all this sensory apparatus, as it were, that we have? The ability to see, to smell, to taste, to touch, to hear, to take in information from this world. How do we free ourselves from the attachment that grows from such contact? Bhagavad Gita explains very carefully in chapter 2 what happens when we become caught up with the senses. It is very instructive. It says when we make contact with the senses and we begin to work with the senses, and of course, what is working with the senses? If not Manas Chakra, the chakra that you have, this energy center that you have in the mental area. Manas. Manas is the one that works with the senses. So when Manas becomes operative, the soul is in contact with the world through the senses. When the soul follows the Bindu path, that's another stage. It's inward. So because the play has it that we become involved in the world, we are continuously in this waking state, establishing a relationship with the senses. Bhagavad Gita says that when we do this, that we grow attachment to the senses. What you smell, what you taste, what you hear, what you touch, what you see. You begin to grow attached to these things, to certain sounds, certain tastes, certain smells, certain sights, certain skin sensitivity, touch sensitivity, feel, touch and feel. What do you think? We tend to become very comfortable and attached to this world. We cannot do without things. There's pain, misery, heartaches, depression when things move out of our way. When things no longer there that we've been accustomed to. We get caught up in the stimulants, in the intoxicants, in the pleasures, the sensory pleasures of the senses. We become caught up in them. We can't do without them. You see how people get into food addiction, into movie addiction, into sound addiction. There's the preferred kind of music and they don't want to hear anything else. What they can touch and feel, they become attached to that kind of softness or roughness. So if you look at that contact with the senses, we can become hopelessly attached that we cannot do without. And that's how we can become attached to this bhuloka. That even when we transition from this loka, we still are very attached. We want to come back here because this is all that we know. and we don't free ourselves for another journey, the journey of ascension along the chakras. So when Kundalini comes in with with her evolutionary drive, and you're so comfortable with this world in your ignorance, thinking that it is the paradise, Eden. You are in for a rough ride if you're attached. Bhagavad Gita explains it very, very beautifully in chapter 2. It says we grow attachment to the senses when we make contact with them and become involved with them. And from attachment grows desire. We want more. We want more involvement. We want more taste. We want to go after more visions, get involved in more stories, love the rumors, love the gossip. We become involved. Then we want to hear more. Every little gossip, every little pleasured journey, we want to go after it. Every little sensation. From attachment grows desire. And now hear the other part of it. From desire unfulfilled, what do you think comes? Bhagavad Gita says, anger. Anger. You see it. You see it in the world stage. Desire unfulfilled, anger. It's across the animal kingdom. And human beings with their reptilian brain operating and limbic brain with little neocortex activity, we become totally and hopelessly caught up in this anger. It says, what does anger bring? Delusion. We don't even see clearly. We create stories in our mind. Delusional. Become delusional. It says, and from that desire unfulfilled comes delusion. From delusion, what happens? Confusion of memory. We lose the ability to go back and reflect. We become blind. And it says that confusion of memory leads to ruin. We get completely ruined. We get completely unbalanced. Does it sound familiar to some of us? How do we break free of this? But Bhagavad Gita continues to say, but he who can become disinterested when involved with the senses. Now, disinterest, when we say it in English, it sounds like a bad word. We have lost interest. No, it doesn't mean that. It means that when we can enjoy something with detachment, not caught up. That's what it means. And the word that is there is vairagya, dispassion. It simply means not being caught up. More objective, more detached, more seeing things for what they are, not being carried away. Vairagya. And the Bhagavad Gita says, he who can operate without his likes and dislikes, being caught in likes and dislikes, raga and dvesh, when you don't caught up in likes and dislikes, it says such a person will find tranquility. So when Kundalini comes up in her evolutionary drive, she's going to challenge you to come to that place of tranquility. Another word, equanimity. Bhagavad Gita also says later on, samatvam, even-mindedness, equipoise, equanimity. Samatvam, yoga, yoga uchate. It is said by the wise ones that yoga means being equanimous. So how do we get to that state of enjoying this play but not being caught in it? It is Kundalini that teaches us how to do that when she comes up. But if we are confused and we think that she is creating havoc within us, we may not be able to follow her evolutionary drive in a co-creative way because we don't understand. Hence we need the masters who have made the journey to guide us along this journey. This journey can be a stormy journey. People commit suicide. People get very depressed. People go to mental institutions. People take a lot of medication. Have a lot of fears without real bias, ignorance, darkness. So you need to be in gratitude when you can understand the play, when you're no longer confused by it, and when you can learn to be detached. So when she comes up, the Savior is in the Manas Chakra, operating with the support of Kundalini. When Kundalini comes up to this Agya center, this control center of the mind, and you begin to feel that little pull that I spoke about, that little pulsation. Until then, you have to use the ego and the mind. But when she comes up there, she makes the journey easier. So as much as you could do your sadhana to begin to feel that pull, that sensation of her presence at the mind, as much as you can do it, because that's where the saving grace is, finding the center. And don't be afraid for those of you who can't find it yet. When you're digging a tunnel, it takes time to come out the next side. You can be almost to the end of the tunnel, just one more stroke to come out, and you become discouraged. How can you stay with the process? Holding that vision that you want to break free, you want to break free, you want to break free, and stay with it. Let that vision of freedom, of total love, of happiness, keep you there. She brings that support. She stays behind you when you're committed to her, when you give attention to her, and when you don't lose that endurance, that stamina, that steadfastness, that strength of desire to be free. So when you begin to do that, when you hold that desire firmly within you, and you begin to really work with her, looking for her presence and working with her. And like I said before, she may begin with the lower area because you haven't done so much work in past lives. Or she may begin with the heart if you've done work in past lives. Or she may begin simply with the mind. She comes up in your mind, bringing the thoughts, bringing the visions, helping you to clear the field. So don't feel bad if you're not in the mind yet and still down here. Every part of the journey is exciting. Every chakra in the journey is exciting. So you need to find that excitement in every level of the journey. I love every chakra. That's what I do when I sing, when I speak, when I get involved in the world. Every chakra, none is seen as less than the other. The crown is in everyone. The self is in everyone. So if you're blessed with the lower chakras, you're going to develop a strong body, you'll develop strength in the body. You will love the play of the earths and the senses, the water, the fire. You will love it. The chakra of the heart is to bring passion. So when she's absent from the heart, you have uncontrolled passion. You cannot control your feelings. When she's absent from the mind, then you cannot control the mind. The ego may have developed some power over time from practices, but it will not have ultimate control over the mind. Remember the power centers. You have the gut center, which brings you into the body, really mastering the body. You have the emotional center, which is mastering emotion. And you have the mental center to master the mind. Now you need to look for her presence in every area, as I've spoken about. And begin to do the practices that involves that area. The yoga practices, the qigong practices, the practices of Taoism. It's beautiful. You need to make your practices holistic, because mind helps body and body helps mind. You begin to strengthen the physical field, you begin to feel that your mind power becomes a little stronger. The emotional center becomes a little stronger. Don't discount any. So learn to find her presence everywhere. And learn as much as you can to detach from the play as you practice. Become the witness, the objective witness. This is extremely important. Vivek and Vairagya, extremely, extremely, extremely important. Vivek means you need to see clearly, you need to discriminate clearly. No confusion of memory, no anger. Sattva. Once you have the discipline of that Vivek, in every situation you'll be able to see already where uncontrolled desire or passion can take you to ruin. Uncontrolled taste, uncontrolled visions, stories, fear. So you need to have that vivek to see through how you're led when you get involved, how carried away you can become. And then with that vairagya, you can detach. And you can learn to manage the stories, manage the emotions, manage the actions in the field. So you need to find that center of self-control, which begins with the mind. The mind is the controller. The controlling power is there. The controlling power of the soul is there. So you need a healthy brain as well. And these exercises of chi or yoga, prana, will help you to build that kind of vitality, vital body. Nourish the brain, nourish the heart center, nourish the gut. So you need that kind of power. So with Kundalini and the energetics of this Mahayoga, you will begin to feel the energy of the heart, this wonderful energy of the heart. So some of you may say, okay, so you are aware and you feel it, but we don't, of course. Just persevere with whatever feeling you feel in the chest, whatever it is. Even if it's a little bit of love, even if it's human love, just observe it and begin to grow it without getting caught in the human. Just grow it, because love doesn't need an object, ultimately. In the beginning, it may need an object. But when you begin to realize it's coming from a center inside, the heart chakra, then you will begin to go in an objectless way to that center and begin to just love without an object. Channeling love in your space. That's my heart chakra there. Just giving out love. I don't need any return. Because infinite love is at the source of my being, as well as yours. And if I come to the navel, there is this power to manage the lower centers and just tap in there. I don't need to have a support to bring out navel power, a challenge to bring out navel power. I just go there and I can harness the power of the lower three centers at will, because it's inside of me. I may use an object in the beginning, like we have these things to box or these things, these routines of yoga, of flow yoga, or qigong. You may use the routine in the beginning, but eventually everything you do will have the same flow. So you need to get into a way of being able to generate these energies that you have within your being that are infinite without a need for an object outside to bring it out. That you can excite your system without a need for a stimulant. That you can feel completely happy by yourself without a need for external company. That you can begin to create your own vision for what you want to do and then discard it when it's realized. So the idea is not to be uninvolved with the senses, but to operate with the senses in the way of delight. And the best experience comes when you're not caught up in something. Then you can enjoy it if it's there, and if it's not there, you're still happy. It wasn't the source of your happiness in any event. You can have the sugar or not have it. You can have the coffee or not have it. You can have company or not have it. You can hear the classical sounds or you can hear nothing. You can enjoy music for your meditation or you can just enjoy pure silence. You can meditate in the beautiful energy of an entire group or you can meditate with the universe by yourself. That's freedom. So don't become impatient. It's a journey of many steps. And if you're still in the foundational steps, that's fine. You have so much more beautiful journey to make. Every step of the journey is magnificent if you have her with you. That's how we are told, with God, all is possible. All things are possible. With Kundalini, all is possible. She's the evolutionary guide. Now I know that some of you are already resonating with this truth. Hold it, and continue to ride with it. And don't lose time on the journey. Be patient, but don't lose time, because you will regret it. You know, I could have done that so long ago. The moment you understand something, act upon it. Be a good seeker. Otherwise, it's opportunity lost. You know, in business, we say opportunity cost. This is opportunity lost. No. You're on this earth plane for a limited period. Use every day, every moment, and enjoy it for what it is. If it appears in your space, enjoy it. If it disappears from your space, be happy. She took it away for good reason. When she brings a challenge before you, feel blessed. Work with it until you become free. Don't cringe. Don't buckle. Be wise. Work with it. So the journey's end is equanimity. And the pure joy of enjoying the senses without attachment. So those of you who are reading the Bhagavad Gita in the English, try to get the intent, because the English will not be perfect. When you experience it, or if you go deeper, the intuition will come to you as to what the right thing is. The right meaning is. You'll be taught by the universe inside, Kundalini. Every time I read the Bhagavad Gita, oh my God, it appears so much more clear. This morning I just took it up to read this verse because I love this verse, these couple of verses. And it was just such a joy. I felt such clarity of mind, and I felt, oh my God, this is so beautiful if you can only understand this. And then I began to flip the page, and oh my God, this book is just so amazing. Bhagavad Gita. the divine song. And as the epic would have it, it takes place in the Mahabharata time. That this is the yuga of Mahabharata, the Great War. So we are still in that period of tamas and rajas that dominate. So let's learn how to wisely deal with attachment to the world and begin to observe how you are attached to the food, to the bed, to the sound, to the stories, to the visions. You cannot extract yourself from it. But it's the recipe for misery. And you know what? Misery seeks company, so you want to listen to more stories of misery. You want to listen to all those who have the same miserable story for happiness, for comfort. No, don't go there. When you're miserable, don't seek that kind of company to listen to the miserable stories. No. Seek expansion of consciousness. Seek to grow in wisdom. Seek the company of those who are wise. They may push you away, but don't worry about that. These real masters will test you, push you away, until you become a good student. Then they will begin to listen to you. Be a good student. So that's it for my talk today. Now we're going to go into meditation. Go to where she's working. Go to where you feel strength, not weakness. Go to the chakra that gives you the most strength, and then grow it, and then move to the next, whether it's down the column or whether it's up the column. Move in comfort, in strength. Not with haste, not with impatience, and not in ignorance. I'm with you in the inner space. We are in each other. The bodies are separate, but our souls are in each other. We exist in each other. Let's begin to open up our consciousness to experience this in meditation. More so with the masters. The masters are within us. Doesn't matter if they have passed away. Once you resonate with them, bring them in the inner consciousness. They will support us. They'll help us to lift. They will speak behind our thoughts. They will channel love to our emotional field, and they will help us to build the gut with their vitality, their pranic power. Join me. Let's slowly come back to the consciousness of the gross body and the gross world. Let's bring more air into the lungs, gradually working with the body intuitively. No stress, but flow. The body would need more oxygen after your meditation, as you would have restricted the oxygen intake. So you bring more prana into the body, more oxygen, until you feel that the mind is clear, the brain is clear, senses are more energized. And then we do the Om sound, breathing out through the mouth, in through the nose. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a good meditation. So it's extremely important to understand this function of the Manas Chakra. And more importantly, to feel it. It's there, so even if you don't feel it yet, you don't feel this mental centering, this mental control, have no fear, you are going to feel it. It's part of your destiny, your programming in the evolutionary drive of Kundalini to experience it. Persevere, stay with the practice. If you feel a little pressure, that's fine. It's opening up. If you feel a greater sensation there of energy, that's beautiful. Continue. You are going to feel it because it's there. It's operating. You're using it already, but just you don't see it. You just don't see it. It's in the seeing. Perceiving, I mean, because your eyes can't see it, but you can perceive it with your extra sensory perception, the third eye perception. And so to the energy of the entire spinal column, even though you may not feel it yet, but you do feel the energies even in a physical sense along the column. Physical energy when you're out of it or you're in it. Sexual energy, it's primary energies to the human existence. Generative power. Or the gut power, the fire power of the gut, the fire of digestion, the fire of core power when you do exercises. So that's the power there. You can feel it. You don't need to go deep into the chakra to feel it. It's already there. With the little chakra power you have and your physical senses, you can feel it. It's an area of power. And the heart, of course, emotion, feel. We all touch and feel. Heart chakra. To grow, refine that. And throat, hearing and speaking. We're using it all the time. We use it mindless. We need to use it mindful. Aware of the tonal quality of the voice, aware of the projection of the voice, aware of whether there's love in the voice or anger in the voice or irritation in the voice. It comes over. Begin to explore that power that you have in the voice. When she wakes up inside, she'll bring extra power to your voice, to your emotion, to your fire power, to your sacral power, to your root. She brings more power, more refinement, more consciousness along the chakras. And then she will gift you with the manas power, that you will have the power to work the senses. So the manas chakra has 5 petals. Each one is for the senses. Each sense. And it has a 6th chakra, which is the dreaming chakra. So all of these chakra information that you pick up, sensory information, you create dreams. You create visions, dreams for more pleasure, more power, more involvement in the world. You create all of these dreams that are associated with the world around you. That's the manas chakra. When you get deeper into the Agya chakra on the Bindu path, then you want to detach from these dreams. And that's where the Rudra Granthis, a destructive power. You begin to move away and let go of the world. And then you get into the internal world. That will lead you to the crown. So that's the Bindu path. The external path is the Manas path, with the Manas chakra. So you create thoughts around the Bindu path. You use the Manas, thinking power, for self-reflection. Who am I? And begin to discriminate and detach from everything else. Just for your information about this Manas chakra that works with the other chakras. You'll begin to feel it. It might be information now, but it will be an experience for you as you grow in this Mahayoga. Now, when you go into the world today, you're going to use all your senses. How are you going to use it? With the information you have? Do not get caught? And to observe yourself being caught. But if you observe yourself being caught, be patient. It takes time to grow. Be patient. Still enjoy the world, but you need to enjoy the pain as well, the misery. If you can enjoy both, good for you. You'll grow. But be wise if you want to avoid the misery and pain. And be detached if you really want to enjoy the senses. In a detached way, Bhagavad Gita says, you can still enjoy it. In the better way, by being detached, not carried away. You can do that. Look for the things that you are carried away in, you're attached to, you become so comfortable with, and then you tell yourself, no, I need to develop this consciousness of being detached. Enjoying, but in a detached way. One of the lessons that I learned when I was 20 years old, oh my God, I suddenly realized that I don't need much to live. I went to India with 3 suits of clothes, a blanket, a towel, and the other little accessories, and a bag. A little bag that I could carry over my shoulder, no hold in the hand. And I spent 4 months in India that way. And after that, I learned to live in the world without attachment to anything. I could survive very easily. Build a tent, grow some food. Anything I'm given, I can make myself contented with it. But life has given me more than I even need. So I share. But I still carry this consciousness of the little that I can survive on. I have that survival consciousness. I don't need much. And I'm happy with that. So I can enjoy this world without being attached to it. No attachment of fame, no attachment of power, no attachment of recognition. When you're so full of light and you're so giving, receiving happens, but it doesn't touch you. If you give me praise, it's okay. It goes to the universe. I let it flow in and through me. I humbly accept. But it goes to the universe. When you give me all the little things that you gave me, I use whatever I want and I share. I love it. Absolutely love it. I love receiving. But most of all, I love giving. And if I were to use any place, even the hotels, I always leave it nicer than when I met it. That's a habit that I've built anywhere I am. I always leave it nicer than how I met it. Whoever is the next person, or even the cleaner who's going to come to clean, they will have less work to do. And they say, oh my God, what a neat and clean person who stayed here. That's what I like. I love thinking about the other. So in the world today, observe how you play with the senses. Play. Observe how comfortable you are, and hold a thought of learning to be free of comfort. Free mean to be able to enjoy in a detached way, but not attached. With every sense object and every sense pleasure. Don't be carried away. Learn to live in freedom. You will have the best day. And remember, whatever energy you carry, you're going to attract the very same energy from the world around you. The world is very reactive. It is responsive when you can see the divine in it, but it's very reactive when you can't see the divine. You feel, oh my God, this world is attacking me. So open your vision to see when the world seems to react to you, and change the way you think, change the energies that you are entertaining, and you'll be amazed to see that the world around you will change. If you change, your stage changes. That's the magic. But we talk about it tomorrow. On day 39. Have a blessed day, everyone. Namaskar.